What's up, everyone? It's Jinx JK here. Today we're just going to be doing a quick patch rundown of TFT patch 10.10 coming up. Let's get started. Welcome, captains. Shepherd your crew through patch 10.10 and the new Galactic Armory Galaxy. In this galaxy, all players start with the same 2 full items. This is interesting. Everyone getting the same 2 full items. Doesn't that kind of lean you towards playing the same build? So this galaxy is going to be really interesting to see how people are going to go for different builds if they're getting the same 2 starting items. All right, leverage that early power more efficiently than your opponents to achieve victory. Balance changes are starting to lighten up as well as we settle in and prepare for the Galaxy's mid-set update. That's going to be very exciting. The biggest changes are coming for the strong tier 1 champions, Poppy, Twisted Fate, and Zaya. Twisted Fate? I didn't think he was that strong. Let's take a look. All right, so here are the highlights, but I think I just want to get to the nitty-gritty. Systems. General. Super dense galaxy now grants a free force of nature after the stage 3 carousel rather than upon reaching level 5. This is huge. A lot of people hated super dense galaxy, and I know it's a strong word that I'm using, but what would happen is you wouldn't be able to play the game basically because everyone has to go level 5 on upon like after the stage 2 carousel, which just would make scenarios where sometimes you're left with having no gold, your economy is screwed, and if you low roll, the people who, you know, start with Lucian red buff and cybernetics, chrono brawler, all that good stuff, and you hit nothing, you just get punished severely. On top of that, you have no economy, so it's really hard to recover. It gives you no way to come back from the game basically if you roll low roll. So a really good change here. If you attempt to use Nico's help on a unit with no copies left in the bag, you'll now see a message telling you why it isn't working. So I think this is a lot of people don't know sometimes or don't understand how the bag system works, that there's a limited champions in the pool or in the bag, and they wouldn't understand why the Nico was bouncing off. So this is a nice convenient change. Reduce the chances of a random full item carousel by a large amount. Thank you. Especially in earlier carousels. So yeah, basically random full items, you just wouldn't be able to adapt as much sometimes with these. You'd be forced down certain build paths, and so yeah, I think this is a good change. Item drops are now a bit more likely to appear in earlier PvE stages. This is huge. This is huge because sometimes you would get scenarios where you don't get a lot of items early on, you're getting gold early on, and you would get the items later on in the stages. But sometimes because you have no items, a lot of the strength in teamfight tactics comes from items, and keeping high health comes from items. So if you don't have those items early on, you were such low health by the time you get to the late stages that by the time you do get all your items, you're basically at 10 HP. So really great change here. New galaxy, Galactic Armory. We talked about this already. All right, updated galaxy odds. Okay, 12.5, Nico versus 7.5, 7.5. I would like this to reduce down to 0%, but anyways, that's just me. Medium Legends 7.5, Super Dense 7.5, Trade Sector and 10. Treasure Trove needs to go up to like 50%. This is the best thing that's ever happened to TFT. But anyways, let's continue. Okay, traits. Mech Pilots. Another nerf. Let's see what's happening here. Mech Pilot attack damage. 100% of pilots attack damage. 80 to 45% of pilots attack damage. Okay. 100% of pilots attack damage. So definitely a nice nerf. Infiltrators now jump regardless if there is a target. So this is for RFC users. When you would put RFC on infiltrators, sometimes they wouldn't jump, but now it looks like they are always jumping regardless of their attack range. I think that's fine. I think that's completely fine. Infiltrators are supposed to jump, and now they do just that, whether they have long attack range or not. Space Pirate 4, drop chance 20-25. I'm not sure how impactful this will actually be because getting 4 Space Pirates, right, it requires the Gangplank. by the time you get to that stage, is that I can see it making a difference 1 in 10 games. We'll see how this plays out. Champions, tier 1 champions, Poppy, damage, good. Nerfs, very good nerfs. It was needed. Poppy Bulker Tush Shield. Again, some nerfs, good. So this is just to reduce that 3-star Poppy, right? Really annoying. Felt like you couldn't do anything once you hit it with great items. And she was basically a 1v9. Twisted Fate card damage. The 3 cost is nerfed only. So that's good to know. Everything else is great. Zaya AD, a little bit of a nerf. Again, this is for the Shredder 3-star Zaya build. Ziggs total mana 45 to 40. So this is back to launch. Ziggs was 40 mana, and he also got I believe a damage buff on his spell. So this will be really interesting to see what happens with the Ziggs. Basically, feels like if you have a Seraph Ziggs early on, it's going to be great. You can definitely use Ziggs in the early game again to stabilize. So you have more options now rather than just your Cybernetics and your Chrono Brawlers. All right. Of course, Space Spires as well is a strong early game. Tier 2 champions, Yasuo health 600 to 700. He does need a buff because of the AI change of how he targets things. So I think this is fine. Yasuo total mana. Yep, this is all fine. Good. Tier 3 champions, Karma attack speed bonus on shield. Looks like a buff. Okay. I think this is fine. We'll see if there's some interesting Karma builds that come out of this. Syndra, damage buff. I think this is a good change because after the mana nerfs to Syndra, she basically didn't get much play. So we'll see if we can Star Guardians maybe make a comeback and with a damage buff. We'll see what this does to the build, but I'm really interested as Sorcerers is one of my favorite builds. Okay, Kale Divine Ascent waves damage. I believe this is just a 3 cost. Yeah, just a 3 cost nerf. So Kale's still really strong, all the Chrono Kale builds. Vel'Koz spell damage, it's only 50. This is interesting though because I think Vel'Koz is already strong. So I think Sorcerers, we'll see a lot more play from Sorcerers this patch is my prediction. Wukong Cyclone targeting now prioritizes hitting the closest enemy he hasn't hit yet rather than a random one. This should just make more consistent Wukong ults. So I really like everything in this patch so far. Chalice of Harmony, thank goodness. Hopefully this is enough. I'm worried it might not be enough to tone down the power of Mana Battery Sona. Deathblade starting stack 0 to 1. Yeah, Deathblade isn't getting seen that much play, so I think this is fine. Deathblade now displays the amount of attack damage gained rather than stacks. Morello, this is huge again. Again, I don't know if this is enough, 27 to 25. We might need to see this number go down lower because just red buff right now early on with the blasters, it's a free win streak. It's so frustrating to play against when you don't get it. So some good changes. And then we have the bug fixes. So we'll see what comes out of the patch. I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope you enjoyed this patch round down. I'll see you guys in the next video.